notifications. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Happy early Thanksgiving. It is the DOUG here with the myth, the legend, the man who celebrated his birthday with a victory on Monday night, Johnny B. Good.
Yeah. That was a fucking nice victory.
I bet it was a nice birthday gift, too. So congratulations on that one. Of course, we know what I gotta do in a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. Before we get to that, how's your day going today, Johnny?
My day has been... I woke up like 3 hours ago. I didn't do much of anything.
Well, it is the holiday, so everyone can sleep in.
I have family over.
Oh, the dreaded family. Bum, 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 bum.
No, not dreaded family, more the friend family. He's just sitting like right next to me. He's staring at me like, what the fuck are you doing, Johnny?
It's football, baby. Yeah. And okay, why does
football? Yeah.
Someone's already left me a comment. I can't see the comment, so I actually got to go click that video.
I can read the comments.
Fine Ninja said, "Guess I'm not invited." I'm not the host of the party, so nah. That would be up to Johnny. Now, I know, Fine Ninja, you don't really watch football, so you'd kind of be left out. Plus, you don't like my singing anyway, Fine Ninja.
All my map picks.
Well, invite him because he's probably going to want to talk. He wanted to talk about baseball. You know, I said baseball season's been over. Recap of this past week. Thursday night, the Texans beat the Colts. The Falcons didn't wake up against the Buccaneers, eliminating no playoff chances. The Bills pretty much handled the Broncos. The Bears beat the Giants because the Giants rookie situation. Steelers, after benching Rudolph, so Rudolph would not get to play any more reindeer games, but the Duck quarterback, he came in, won the game for them over the Bengals. Bengals are still winless. The Browns destroyed the Dolphins. The Saints won a close matchup against the Panthers, which we'll have to talk about that game because, you know, the PI call reared its head again. Raiders got obliterated by the Jets. Seahawks...
That was even that game.
Oh, yeah. Eagles lost to the Seahawks, hurting no playoff chances. Lions lost to the Redskins, giving the rookie quarterback for the Skins his first win, which we will talk about that because he did something completely stupid. Titans beat the Jaguars. Cowboys lost to the Patriots amid controversy, so once again, controversy has to rear its ugly head this week in a game. 49ers obliterated the Packers, and Monday night the Ravens obliterated the Rams. So I went 9-5 this week. My picks for the season, I'm 111, 66, and 1.
I'm also 9-5 with 107, 67, and 1 record.
Yes, I still got a good stranglehold league on you. Now, of course, before we get to the best and the worst of this week, first thing first, hello, Fine Ninja. It's time for me to sing the song. As many of you know, I was having to sing My Hero Academia, The Day Has Come. So hopefully I do it. Hopefully I do it justice. And I should say, starting this week, when the Cowboys lose a game, it will be Christmas songs for the month of December. So I'll give the clues out for what then that one will be after I sing this. Here we go. Let me restart. My breath is stopped at 5 in the morning. A claim that spreads before the storm. And biting my nails at emergency exit. Tell me, where is tomorrow? The day has come. Yes, I know I'm not a good singer, but that makes this punishment more fun. The night won't let us see the sun. The rain will last to the next millennium. I hate to say both are here to stay in this world we share. Still, it's not odd in the slightest. You walk and half asleep and you're tripping like this. I'm not one to criticize it, even if I care. play alone in your fantasy, ashamed to show the things that you're imagining. What do you see? The maze is twisting, ever twisting. Do you plan to see what you're missing? The sound of a bell from a tiny adventure singles a new beginning. Are you sure that you're not shaking? Such uncertain roads you're taking. Every step that you take, it's changing you. Where is tomorrow? The day has come. Some of them will never really get it. Some of them will say they do, but they're pretending. I hate to say both are here to stay in this world we share. The word has not been heaven sent. The word is not in hell just yet, existing in between a silver line. The cards will show what tomorrow brings. The wind will blow the future it is carrying. What will it be? The maze is twisting, ever twisting. Do you plan to see what you're missing? The sound of a bell from a tiny adventure. Not shaking, sudden roads you're taking. Every step that you take, it is changing you. Where is tomorrow? The day has come. You know you want to keep on believing what your open eyes have been seeing as you cower long before the dawn. All the darkest nightmares have been coming true. So cry on, cry on. We're survivors, strength and dying, stabbing backs and always lying. Those who survive to the end are the winners. Fairness is just an illusion. Secret hunter creeping toward you. Ordinary whispers tries to warn you. Sharpening claws on emergency exits. Tell me, where is tomorrow? The day has come. And there's the song. Thank God that one was quicker than some of the other ones I've had to do. Mostly because I watch way too much My Hero Academia.
Don't worry, dude.
And okay, that was. Alright, so that is done. We're now. Yes.
5 out of 5.
Okay, as far as for next week, if the Bills do beat the Cowboys.
You want to go back to throwing up.
Oh, yeah, I know you're not feeling well, fine, Andrew. Hi, Rosie and Dark Knight and all that. Now. With the Cowboys and the Bills game, if the Cowboys lose, like I said, it would be Christmas music I'll be singing. Your two clues to this one. One, it is my favorite cartoon Christmas short. And second, you will need a broomstick to go into the village. Those are your only two clues. But let's give go into more details, Johnny, of this past week. Best and worst. Best team of this week, Johnny. This one's a hard one because you have the Jets who dominated, you have the Browns who dominated, the Niners who dominated, and the Ravens who dominated. So who's your pick?
This is a really difficult choice, but I think I'll have to give this one to the 49ers. They absolutely stacked up on one of the better QBs in the league.
Dark Knight, his wife was on his account. As for me personally, I gotta go with the Jets, simply because of this. Almost everybody had the Raiders winning that game. I don't think anybody had the Jets even in the fight. And the Jets just literally obliterated the Raiders in that game. Not only obliterated, but the Jets kept their playoff hopes alive, which was shocking. And the Raiders' playoff chances, actually, if they won that game, it kept them alive because they can steal that 6th seed if they win out and get some help. Raiders now, they're one of these teams on the outside looking in, and we'll discuss more of that later. Worst team of this week, Raiders.
Yeah, I would say Raiders. But I'm going to say the Broncos.
Broncos, okay, I can understand that.
They're the most offensive team ever. Like how I can probably get a first down.
Smartest move of the week, I have to give it to the Pittsburgh Steelers for benching Rudolph, putting in his backup, who won him the game against Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's just Rudolph looked off.
I agree there. Worst move of the week, I'm going to Washington, and it's not because they won. I do applaud them for winning. But the rookie quarterback was not in, and I don't know if anyone watched it, he was not in on the final kneel down, you know, the winning, when they kneel to win the game. No, he was instead taking selfies and pictures with fans. Now, normally I wouldn't mind that, but this was only your second win of the year. Maybe you should have did all that after you actually got your first legit win as a rookie quarterback. So I'm kind of disappointed with that. What was your worst move of the week?
I'm just gonna go with that. That's just stupid.
I agree there. I'm glad we agree on that. Lastly, before I talk about the two things that kind of pissed me off the most this week, most disappointing team. This is different from the Raiders and all that. Was most disappointing team to me had to be, because this is a hard one because there was a lot of disappointing teams. I'm going to go with the Giants because the Giants could have won that game, but unfortunately a lot of mistakes were left on the field. Dallas would also be in that category as well for most disappointing team this week.
Yeah, I'm actually just going to go. I would go with Cowboys, actually.
I can understand that because of how they played and the coaching, not going for it on a should have went for a touchdown on the one drive. But we're going to discuss that game a bit. It's not the two teams. It's because of what the NFL announced Monday. Lastly, and I have to clarify this one, best and worst game. Now, for me personally, the worst game, I know it's going to make a lot of people mad. I had to think about it. I actually have to go with the Packers and Niners, closely fought by Baltimore and the Rams, because those games were not even close. Those games were over at halftime, and I was kind of upset by that. Because, I had to watch Monday Night. Rams were not showing up. As far as for the best game of this past week, I actually got to give it to the Saints and Panthers. That was a real close game. Johnny, what about you?
For my best and worst.
Best and worst game of this week. Past week, I should say.
Worst game, probably. I'm gonna go Steelers and Bengals. That game is like someone unfortunately has to win. So I don't think neither of those teams actually deserve to win.
Understandable there. And what was your best game of this week?
Yeah. I'll just have to give it to the Panthers Saints because that was literally the best game.
Alright, so we agree there. Now, the two things I wanted to bring up, and one of them is in the Saints-Panthers game. The PI call that the Saints coach went off about after the game, how can I say this? That was the right call. The problem is, I know a lot of people would disagree with that, but to me that was the right call. He just mad. But it was one of the few times they actually did change the PI call, which is kind of sad in a way. But I will say this, and I know John, you and me have talked about it most of the season. The PI rule just needs to either get rid of it or they need to fix it, because almost every ref has a different definition of what pass interference is, and that's one of the main problems. There's no agreement on what it is and what it isn't. It's like the catch rule. What is and what isn't a catch from the Packers-Cowboys game a few years ago. Lastly, the Cowboys-Patriots game. The NFL Monday announced that the two tripping calls that was called on Dallas should have not been called. Now, and the NFL sent out a letter saying we apologize if the refs got those wrong, but we're not going to do anything about it. Which, ain't that a slap in the face? That'd be like if your boss fires you and then he writes you a letter saying, sorry, I should have not have fired you, you were in the wrong, but I'm not going to rehire you. That's a slap in the face. And I'm just going to say this, and I want everyone's comment in the comment section if you agree or disagree or with this question. This is the question of the video. If referees mess up calls badly or get a call wrong, and then come the next day the NFL says, oh, they got it wrong or they missed it, shouldn't those refs be fined? And I ask that for this reason. When coaches mess up and break the rules or do something wrong, they get fined or suspended, correct, Johnny? Players, same thing. They get fined or suspended.
Yeah, ironically, players get suspended about talking bad about the refs, even though it's true.
Yeah, which that's been the main problem this year. And somebody actually said in one of the sports group I'm in that Rosie invited me to, that it's sad when WWE referees are more intelligent and actually get more stuff called right than NFL refs. That is kind of sad.
Yeah.
And to be honest, because I always vote on this, I'd have to say at this point the worst officiating this year again for the third year in a row is the NFL refs. They have been bad the last few years. So yeah, there's that. Heading to the playoff standings now. And by the way, don't forget today's stream is brought to you by Hot Fries. Handicaps Hot Fries. If you love some chips but you want some kick, get yourself a bag of Handicaps Hot Fries. Going to the AFC, the Patriots are still the 1 seed at 10-1. They cannot clinch a playoff spot yet, though, because the Bills are right behind them. Baltimore is 9-2. They can clinch a playoff spot in a few weeks, depending on what happens with Pittsburgh. Third seed right now is the Houston Texans, with the fourth seed being Kansas City. Fifth seed is Buffalo, who's in control of their own destiny, as if they just win out, they could probably lose 1 or 2 games, but still win out and get the fifth seed. Your sixth seed right now is Pittsburgh at 6-5, followed by Oakland, Indianapolis, and Tennessee at 6-5. Cleveland's still in the hunt at 5-6. Jacksonville, Chargers, Jets are still alive, but they need help. Denver, Miami, and Cincinnati, well, they're dead. Over in the NFC, San Francisco's still the 1 seed, followed by the Saints. Packers have dropped to the 3rd seed, and Dallas is still the 4th seed. Seattle and Minnesota are 5th and 6th, which that might change depending what happens Monday. And lastly, the Rams are still alive, but they need a lot of help to get the 6th seed at this point, or even the 5th. Chicago is on life support as well. They need to win out and get some help. Philly is still in live because of their division. After that, Carolina, granted they need to win out and get help. Tampa Bay, Detroit, Arizona, Atlanta, the Giants, and the Redskins are eliminated. So there's that. Now let's get to the games this week. And we got 3 Thursday games. We're also going to be talking about the hockey game and the college football games after this picks. So let's start with the first one, Johnny. It is the Lions at home against Chicago. Of the 3 Thanksgiving games, this is the worst one.
Yeah.
Lions will be without Matthew Stafford again. Looks like I have a feeling they're just going to rest him the rest of the way, since they're not really in a playoff hunt anymore. Chicago's kind of still in the playoff hunt, but it's kind of one of those things. They need a lot of help to get in. I'm taking Chicago here. I just think even with the offensive issues, the defense is better, and I don't trust the backup quarterback for Detroit.
This is not locked for weeks. The Lions are just absolute garbage without Stafford.
Well, that's an understatement. Fine Ninja, who do you have? Because you live in that area, so you do have to deal with a lot of Bears and Lions fans.
Chicago, why not?
It's got Chicago. Alright. The next one, which is the game I will be watching on Thanksgiving, guaranteed. It is the Bills on the road against Cowboys. Now, we already know I'm taking Cowboys. Cowboys need this game mostly because of scheduling reasons. Dallas needs to win this one in the next 2 to guarantee the Week 16 matchup against Philly is for the division title. I say that because the Eagles' schedule is very easy the next 3 weeks. They got Miami. Who else do they have after that? Eagles got Miami this week. After that, they got the Giants on Monday night. And then Week 15, they're on the road against the Redskins. If the Eagles win those next 3, and Dallas does lose the next 3, Eagles win the division, no matter what. Dallas has to stay tied or at least be ahead of them before Week 16. Now, Dallas is coming off a game they should have won because the Patriots did not play well offensively. But that's because Jason Garrett did not do a good job of coaching. Yes, I know the 2 tripping penalties should have not have been called. Could have Dallas won the game if those weren't called? I don't know. What helps Dallas here is the fact of it is a short week for both, and the Bills' offense is not what I would call great. As Johnny's brought up many times in this show, the Bills' offense is terrible, but the Bills' defense is great. if Dallas does lose this game, they will probably not win the division unless they will beat the Bears and then the Rams the next 2 games. But I'm taking my Cowboys.
I'm also taking the Cowboys.
You got the Cowboys as well. Rosie has the Bears and the Bills. John, Fine Ninja, would you like to make a pick in this one?
For which?
Bills, Cowboys.
I'll go with Cowboys. Why not?
Alright.
Make Doug happy.
Yay, somebody likes to make me happy. Too bad you're not a woman. The last game on Thanksgiving, it is a rematch from a few weeks ago, and this one has some interesting things. Atlanta, who did knock off the Saints a few weeks ago, but Saints have been playing better since. Do the Saints get their revenge and keep that stranglehold in their division, or does Atlanta shock the world again on Thanksgiving night?
No. Saints win easily.
I got the Saints as well. This surprisingly, we're not at my lock of the week yet. Surprisingly, all my upset. Rosie's got the Saints. I got the Saints. Fine Ninja.
Wait, who's Saints or
Saints or Falcons?
No, Falcons.
Wow, Fine Ninja going for the upset. By the way, there are no bye weeks this week. No one's on a bye this week, so plan your fantasy teams accordingly. Next, we head to Indianapolis for a very interesting matchup. It is the Titans and Colts. Both teams are still alive in the playoff hunt. Both teams are still alive in the divisional race. Whoever loses this matchup may be on the outside looking in. Now, I will give credit to the Colts. They have looked pretty well without Andrew Luck this year. I'm going to tip my hat to them. Titans have looked good without after benching Mariota. So this is a tough one. Johnny, I'm going to let you start with this one. So you got the Titans. Rosie has the Titans as well. Fine Ninja.
I'll take the Colts.
You got the Colts. And Fine Ninja is on a lone island once again because I'm taking the Titans as well. I just think momentum's on their side and they're the better team. Alright, the next game.
Watch somehow I be right without knowing anything about what's going on.
If that's the case, I will cry. It is the Jets going to WKRP Cincinnati. Hopefully there won't be any flying turkeys on the field. If you don't get that reference, just ask your parents about WKRP Cincinnati with the turkeys. They know what I'm talking about. Jets coming off a dominant win over the Raiders, and the Bengals were so close to a win, they could have tasted it, and then they let it slip through their hands like they've been doing. Andy Dalton will be starting for the Bengals this week. Fine Ninja, I'm going to let you start this one first. Jets or the Bengals?
Jets.
That's one for the Jets. Rosie's taking the upset and taking the Bengals to get their first win. I am taking the Jets. Jets, baby.
Yeah. Can we just cancel this matchup?
No.
Fine. Jets win.
Jets win. Alright. Moving on. It is a interesting game, maybe. I don't know. It is the Carolina Panthers at home taking on the Redskins. Redskins coming off their only second win of the year. First win for the rookie quarterback. Panthers coming off a heartbreaking loss over the Saints. Let's see. Rosie is taking the Redskins on the road. I am taking the Panthers. Here, I think they bounce back. And what about Johnny and Fine Ninja?
Hail to the Redskins. Give the Panthers.
You got one.
Going with Panthers too, I guess.
So Rosie's on the island by herself. Up next, it is probably the best game of the week. It is the Baltimore Ravens at home after killing the Rams go against San Francisco, who defeated the Packers. Now for me, this game was my toughest pick because both teams have a great defense. But what made me edge it in the end was the quarterback. I trust Jackson a hell of a lot more than I do Jimmy Garoppolo. But I will say this for United fans. This is the game Jimmy Garoppolo needs to show up. If he beats the Baltimore Ravens, hear what I said, not the defense. Jimmy's going to have to be the one to step up. If he does lead the team to victory and he is the reason they win, he will finally prove he's not a trash. He will finally prove that he is a legit quarterback. but I am taking the Ravens because I just trust their offense and defense a hell of a lot more. Rosie's taking the Ravens as well.
Yeah, well, you know what I should be taking by this point.
You're taking the Ravens and Fire Ninja?
I'll take the Ravens because Ravens the best team K.
Okay, I like that answer. Makes me think of Cleveland Jr. from Family Guy when I was watching Madness episode. Up next, it's the trash game of the week. The Buccaneers go to Jacksonville. Does anyone even care about this game?
No.
Rosie's taking the Buccaneers. I'm honest, I flipped a coin and it landed on the Buccaneers, so I'm taking the Bucs.
I'm taking Jacksonville.
Alright.
Join Johnny because why not?
So 2-2 there. Up next, it is the Packers coming off a very sad loss to the 49ers after getting obliterated, and the Giants, well, we already know the best team in New York is the Buffalo Bills at this point. So this is my lock of the week. I am taking the Packers on the road to beat the Giants, and Packers keep a hold of their divisional lead over the Vikings for now.
Packers easily. The Giants are just...
Giants are trash, I know. Fire Ninja, I know you don't like the Packers, but I should let you know before you make your pick.
I don't care. I don't care. Screw the Packers.
This year are gonna beat Green Bay. Okay.
It's not like it matters now, does it? I don't watch it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just picking because I'm being forced to pick.
No, you wanted to be on here, not so that's on you. Rosie hasn't made her pick yet. I know she's probably going to take the Giants though, because that's her and Dog Knight's team. Moving on, it is the Eagles on the road against Miami. Eagles have an easy schedule the rest of the way, so you think they should win their division, but they do have some injuries. Miami's shown that they went from being a guaranteed getting the first pick in the draft to, well, we're going to find a way not to tank.
Yeah, they're the Dolphins for the reason.
Bengals are either the number one, followed by, I think the Dolphins are the second pick right now because of the Redskins' victory this past weekend. I'm taking the Eagles here, even with all the injuries they have with wide receiver and running back. This should be an easy win for them. I will say this though, if the Dolphins beat the Eagles, that's going to make a lot of Philly fans wonder, should have we kept Nick Foles or not? Because Wentz has played bad this year, but it's not on him. There has been injuries. I know he's going to be playing injured with a hand injury. We'll see what happens. This will be a game I think Dallas Cowboy fans will be keeping an eye on Sunday at least. Johnny?
Sorry, I almost picked the Dolphins, but I remember they're the Dolphins, so give me the Eagles.
Eagles. Fire Ninja?
I'll go with Dolphins because Dolphins are intelligent animals.
All I'm thinking about now is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, as that was one of the reasons why I took a case. Moving on, we head to Kansas City as the Chiefs play the Raiders. Now, this is a very important matchup, probably the most important game on Sunday, because of the fact of if the Raiders win this, it changes the entire AFC playoff standings. But it's the Raiders. Chiefs are the better team to me. I'm taking the Chiefs at home over Oakland.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Fine, Ninja?
Because I know how much Doug loves the Raiders, I'm picking the Raiders.
Okay then.
After all, that's why you're part 2 now.
Yeah, don't remind me of that history lesson. Up next, another hard game that was hard to pick.
I love history.
It was hard to pick due to how bad the Rams are playing. Okay, Rosie's got the Packers, so she'll probably catch up. Arizona's been playing bad, but we expected them to play bad because they were the rookie team. Rams look like they have had the Super Bowl blues. They have not played well. They have actually been as mediocre as Dallas this year. And particularly after Monday night, the Rams did not look good. I don't know what's wrong with them. I mean, they have one of the best running backs in the game today, but they are... Wait a minute. Wait. Rosie picked the Packers to beat the Giants? Is there a hailstorm outside? She also picked the Eagles and the Chiefs. Back to this one. I am taking the Rams here, but I will be honest, I am not confident with this one at all.
This is my upset pick of the week. I'm actually taking Cardinals at home.
Oh, wow, you got the Cardinals. Fine, Ninja?
Cardinals.
2 for the Cardinals, and when Rosie picks between Rams and Cardinals, I will let everyone know. Up next, the best Sunday game of the weekend. It's at 4:25, and Rosie took the Rams. This game is interesting. It's the Browns and Steelers. We know what happened a few weeks ago. There was the big fight at the end. Granted, Rudolph's not playing, so it kind of takes excitement away. I wish they would have let him. They would leave him in the game because I want to see what would happen. Also, this is the first time Cleveland's been favored in Pittsburgh since 1989. To tell you how old that is, I was 1 year old at the time. Fine Ninja and Johnny weren't alive yet. People were still playing.
I still wasn't alive. So.
People were playing Nintendo. Hulk Hogan was in the WWF. Ric Flair was still in the NWA/WCW. I still think even the United. That one other football league we had back then. The United. The other football league. I can't remember the name of it.
The Cold War's just still ending.
Yeah, we still hated Russia and all that.
What you like Russia now?
They get good alcohol. This is a very interesting matchup as well because this is pretty much an elimination game to me. Whoever loses this will most likely miss the playoffs. Both teams are still alive in their division, but they need help. So Rosie's got Pittsburgh. Johnny?
I have the Browns.
Going with the Browns again because I do remember you picked them the last time. Fire Ninja?
I'm also taking the Browns because you love them so much.
Here's my thing with this. This was a hard pick for me because we know I was on the Cleveland Browns hype wagon at the start of this year in the preseason. They did disappoint me a lot this year. Pittsburgh's been up and down a lot. But I will give credit to Mike Tomlin. If the Steelers do make the playoffs, he should win Coach of the Year because he got a team with a bunch of scrubs and third-string players to actually show up on offense to get to the playoffs. We're not even at the Patriots, those games yet, Rosie. Hold on. This is my upset pick. I am taking Pittsburgh to win at home. I'm hoping and praying this does not come back to bite me in the ass like it did a few weeks ago.
You're literally just doing what I did 2 weeks ago.
Up next, we head to Denver, Colorado, where I have a feeling almost everybody in this game will be high as hell so they can enjoy the game, as it will be the Chargers against the Broncos. Rosie's got the Broncos. Johnny, who do you got?
I have the Chargers.
1-1. Fire Ninja?
Who versus who?
Chargers on the road against the Broncos.
Broncos.
Alright, I'm going to say this. This was another hard game for me. Both these teams suck. I literally don't know who to trust here. It's in Denver.
Mainly because I'm playing for Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, because you are playing for the MLB The Show. I am taking the Broncos here, but again, this is one of those games to where you can't really trust either team because both teams are just so terrible. Sunday night game. It's the Patriots taking on the Texans. Texans coming off a win. They still lead in their division, but their defense is not that great as due to injuries. Patriots offensively have been terrible the last few weeks, but their defense has stepped up in major ways. Fine, I'm going to let you start this one. Patriots or the Texans?
Texans.
It's one for the Texans. Rosie's got the Patriots. Johnny?
I have the Patriots.
Because of mayhem.
Because of mayhem. I'm taking... Yeah, I know. I'm taking the Patriots. I don't trust the Texans defensively. I still think the Texans will most likely win their division, but...
I mean, unless the Patriots cheat.
Well, the refs screw up, which could happen. Monday night game, and probably, hopefully, will be way better than last week. This is a battle for the 5th seed in the NFC. It is the Seahawks at home against the Vikings. Both teams have been playing well defensively. Kirk Cousins has been actually stepping up. He's been able to win on prime time. But here's the thing. Seattle's just a better team. Russell Wilson's been having an MVP-like year. I could see him or Jackson from the Ravens winning it. Depends on how the voting goes. I'm taking Seattle at home. I think they hold on to, they guarantee them the 5th seed with this win. Vikings, even with this loss, I don't see the Vikings missing the playoffs, though. Minnesota will still get in. Rosie's got the Vikings. Johnny?
I have the Seahawks.
Seahawks. And what about our good buddy Fire Ninja?
Seahawks because they're closer to Japan. And you know what that means? They're closer to Rob the Robot.
Okay. Alright, now we're going to get to the hockey game, because you did remind me, Johnny, there is a hockey game tomorrow on Thanksgiving.
And that features my team, of course.
It is the New Jersey Devils taking on the Canucks, or the Canadians, whichever one they are. That game is at 7:30 p.m. on our RSN network. Montreal is favored to win that game. I am taking the Devils, though, in an upset.
Yeah, I'm taking the Devils.
I don't know if Rosie watches hockey, so Fire Ninja, what about you?
I always go with Canada.
He's going with Canada. We're not going to do tonight's games, obviously, because we're worried about the Thanksgiving games. We're going to head to college football in a minute, but just for you hockey fans, the standings are as follows. In the Eastern Conference, Boston is the #1 seed in Atlantic, followed by Florida. Yes, Florida has a hockey team, and yes, they might make the playoffs. Followed by Montreal in 3rd. And the Metropolitan, it is the Capitals, the Islanders, and Carolina. Your wildcard team right now, and those two are the Penguins, that's me, and the Philadelphia Flyers. In the Western Conference, the Blues are the 1 seed in the Central, followed by the Dallas Stars, which is still funny that there's a chance Dallas's hockey team can make the playoffs this year, and the Cowboys cannot. Winnipeg's 3rd. In the Pacific, it is Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, followed by the Arizona Coyotes, Arizona Coyotes, which is still weird that they have a hockey team, and Vancouver. Your wildcard teams are Colorado and the Sharks. Now to get to college football. I don't think there's any NBA games on Thanksgiving, is there?
No.
That's a surprise. Thank God for that. Because I don't think anybody would watch them. And I will check to see. By the way, don't forget tonight, Thursday there is actually one football game we needed to talk about, so we're actually going to discuss that one real quick. Tomorrow night on ESPN, if you don't want to watch the Saints and Falcons, it is this 4-7 Ole Miss at 5-6 Mississippi State. That's on ESPN. I'm taking Mississippi State at home. Johnny? Ole Miss or Mississippi State?
Mississippi State.
I'll go with Mississippi because of Mississippi River.
Alright, and before we get to the Friday games, if you guys are not going out on Black Friday, you can watch some college football all day Friday because, well, that's what we do. Granted, I will actually be out of the house on Black Friday. So, first game, it is an in-state rivalry. This the 24th ranked team, Virginia Tech, on the road against Virginia. This is a rivalry game. It is on ABC. I am taking Virginia in the upset. I don't like anything about Virginia Tech, so yeah, go Virginia.
I'll go Virginia.
Bio?
For Virginia, why not?
Alright. Next, we have Texas Tech, who is 4. By the way, before I forget, Virginia and Virginia Tech both have the same record at 8-3. Next, it is the 4-7 Texas Tech on the road against the Texas Longhorns, who are 6-5. This game is on Fox at 12 o'clock. I'm going with the Longhorns, baby.
Give me Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, alright, and Longhorns. We're not going to do all the games on Friday because there's a lot of them, so we're just going to go through 3 more. Let's see. Now this one should be interesting because I believe this might be Johnny's team. Washington State, who is 6-5, travels to Washington to take on the 6-5 Washington. That game is on Fox at 4 p.m.
I'll take Washington.
I'm going to take Washington State. And Five Ninjas thinking,
Wait, what was it?
Washington State or Washington? They both have the same record, 6-5.
Washington.
And again, that game is at 4 o'clock on Fox. The next one, which is at 3:30 on ABC, it is the 19th ranked Cincinnati, who is 10-1, taking on the 18th ranked team in the country, Memphis, who is also 10-1.
Memphis.
I got Memphis. I got Memphis as well. Oh, you're taking Cincinnati. Fine, Ninja.
Yeah.
All right. So, and the last game, which we're going to be doing, is the Friday night game. It is USF, who is 4-7, taking on UCF, who is 8-3. That game is at 8 o'clock on ESPN.
Worthless manager. Telling me to steal.
You just described USF, so I'm taking UCF.
Yeah, UCF.
Sure.
Alright, and that's going to do it for the picks this week, guys. I do hope you enjoy them. Hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving as well. Again, happy early birthday to... Well, happy late birthday to Johnny. Again, I wish you happy... And of course, we have another birthday person we have to wish as well this week. So everyone, say happy birthday to Fire Ninja on 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Fire Ninja.
I'm the Resident Ghoul.
So until next week, enjoy your football this week, either be the pros or college. Enjoy the hockey and basketball this weekend as well. Have a good Thanksgiving. Remember, please be safe going shopping on Black Friday if you're going out. And remember, the internet will be slow for everyone with Cyber Monday coming up. But until then, have a good night, and I'll see you next time.